of the ostentatious display of wealth at mining baron Janardhan Reddy's daughter's wedding. The Karnataka government has resurrected the State Marriages Bill 2015 geared towards checking extravagant ceremonies. The bill had been on the back burner for 2 years before the government decided to take it up again. The government proposes to levy a hefty luxury tax on weddings to discourage people from such events, from holding such events. The bill faced opposition from certain sections of the society and couldn't be tabled for more than 2 years.
After a couple of tycoons displayed their wealth through a lavish wedding of their family members, now Karnataka government is all set to revive a bill which was introduced 2 years back on imposing taxes on big fat wedding. Talking to media, Law Minister T.B. Jayachandra went on to say that he is considering to revive the bill which was earlier opposed by his own cabinet colleagues. The question is just a political gimmick, or the Karnataka government is trying to impose heavy tax on this big fat wedding? With video journalist Satish Sagairaj for NewsX, Bengaluru.
Government in Karnataka wants to bring in an act which will now put an imposition on the kind of money that can be spent on marriages, the Lavish Marriages Act. How do you see these developments?
Let them discuss in details in the assembly. Afterwards, I will come back to you. Thank you.
But then people are saying that, VIPs and VVIPs can spend money, but when it comes to the common man, then you want to impose a tax.
Let us wait. Finally, what the decision they are going to take.
What is the BJP stand on? Is the BJP in support of this act?
This lavish marriages, we are going to against all these things.
My colleague Sagai tracking developments on this front. We are also asking our viewers to join in on this discussion. Is this the best way to ensure that such ostentatious display of wealth is curbed? Sagai, how does the government define a lavish wedding? Are they going to put a cap on how much you can spend and how you can organize a wedding?
Let us go back to the background of this entire bill. This bill was introduced 2 years back when Cabinet Minister Ramesh Kumar went on to propose about the lavish wedding. He went on to say that anything above 5 lakh and 1,000 guests who attend a marriage, they have to go ahead and pay tax for all those weddings. At that point of time, many of in fact, his own cabinet colleagues did not back this particular bill and it did not have any importance. Now, after this, Janardhan Reddy's daughter's marriage and Ramesh Jarkiholy daughter's marriage, now this bill has again surfaced. Again, Law Minister T.B. Jayachandra went on to say that he is trying to revive this particular bill, which was introduced 2 years back by Ramesh Kumar, and he want to make a few amendments on this bill and try to table this. I strongly feel that in the month of October, when I try to take reaction on the same story, the cabinet ministers R.V. Deshpande and U.T. Khadar did not back this particular bill, saying that it is up to us individual whether they have to spend so much of money on the marriage, because they might be saving throughout their life to just splurge the money on this kind of marriages.
Right, and 5 lakhs, some would argue, wouldn't quite cover the cost of even a middle-class wedding, but that's for the government to decide, of course. At the same time, many are questioning why not look at the source of this money rather than question how it is being spent.
Absolutely, that question was raised especially during Janardhan Reddy's daughter's marriage, when a human rights activist and RTI activist filed a complaint in IT department saying that when Janardhan Reddy was arrested, his accounts were freezed, his properties were seized. How he got so much of money to spend on his daughter's marriage? So these were the questions which was raised, and subsequently there was an ED raid in his office in Bellary in the next week after his marriage. So this clearly shows that yes, there should be a system which need to question this kind of money which has been spent on this big fat wedding. But if you talk to people over here, they have a mixed reaction. People go on to say, talk about the history where there was marriage of prince and princess where they used to spend lavishly and get married. So that is a display of their wealth. They want to invite a lot of people. They want to show off their wealth and try to make as big as possible. But on the other side, people say that many of them, especially even if they spend black money, it is going to the workers and employees who are totally depending upon this kind of marriages. Probably any vendor who supplies garlands, a person who supplies vegetable for this marriage will be benefited out of that. But the other sector feel that, okay, by doing all these things, they should declare from where these people get money out of, whether these are genuine money, whether this money this money has been earned genuinely by paying proper tax.
Sure. Stay with us, Sagai. We have our first caller from Chennai. Rajan is with us. Good evening, Rajan.
We should not look at it only as money. Many marriages across the world are very lavish. There are multiple approaches required. One side, we have to tax these heavy marriages. And the other one is, we have to awake the social consciousness of people and appeal to them to look around and see how many people are suffering. So such rich marriages, they must be made to contribute to orphanages, educational institutions before the marriage. There is no use crying against each other after the marriage that it is lavish. Third is, there has to be some education of the politicians to bring an awareness all around the people about our country's majority who are quite poor. And this is a winter season, for example. People are having no clothes, no food, no shelter. So unless it is adopting a multi-approach, a cultural, sociological approach, mere financial angle is not enough.
Absolutely.
And schools and colleges are also a place where people should educate the whole public. That is the point. It cannot be approached only from the finance and tax angle.
Absolutely.
People will invite 10,000 people, a popular actor, popular industrialist. So what? Let them invite. There's no point looking at it as lavish.
Right, Rajanji. Thanks very much for speaking with us from Chennai. We also have Lalit from Chennai. Good evening, Lalit.
Good evening. I have very little to say. We are talking about Janardhan Reddy. He is also a BJP man. You do whatever you want for the sake of doing it. Raid his house, raid everything, whatever, nobody will get anything. These people, all politicians are corrupt. They come out of every obstacle. They will do all nonsense. That is written in my Bellary ink.
Okay.
All this monetization and all that, all these politicians must have escaped. Nobody will be caught. All these politicians, they are the number one enemy of India. They are number one enemy of India. Not terrorists.
Okay.
Not Saddam Hussein.
Right, sir. I understand where your cynicism stems from. I do appreciate your sentiment. Thanks very much for speaking with us. I believe we have one more caller from Gwalior. Anil Dikshit is with us. Good evening, Anil.
Yeah. I just want to tell you the legal point here. Just now, in demonetization case, you are telling that some people are in the line. And they are actually proxies of black money holders. Okay?
Yes.
In the same way, if you say this person has standing money, which is a black money, you cannot prove it. And all are equal before the law. You have to prove it. Otherwise, the money he is holding, he can waste it, he can throw it, he can do it anything. Like you are arguing for those people who say their money, why are you stopping them from drawing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Fair point, sir. Thanks very much. We have Dr. Ashutosh with us from Delhi. Good evening, doctor.
Yeah, I think it is NewsX, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so my point is simple. I say that whatever white money is there, that should be only treated, because in India, most of these weddings, I mean, like black money is there in property, it's in wedding, and it's in all these particular areas. So jobs, it should not affect the jobs as per se, but once it's being taxed, they should be ready to spend money. I mean, that should not be the case, except for that all the, like in the West, when you go and buy a property or when you go for a lavish wedding, you pay taxes on every count. There is no like 40, 60, 50, 50. So that should be the thing here back in India. It's not only West, all the developed economies as such.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. We have Ali with us from Hyderabad. Hello, Ali.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good.
See, people in general are bearing this pain because they are hoping that there will be uniformity in the application of this law, and everybody would be treated equally. Now, if we start seeing incidences where some people have been let off, the big and mighty nothing has been done to them, and they can openly conduct these weddings, and then the union ministers attending it, and then no action has been taken to stop it. I say in the first place, how was this allowed? When we knew that this kind of expenditure is being made. Now, my only concern is if this fails, this attempt by Prime Minister fails, it will be a disaster for the whole country. Rupee will have no value because then we will say that we are a nation of all those who say something and do something else. This is not for the country. And then, would you like us to be known as a nation of cheats who cheat the nation morning and evening? And then the bigger cheat you are, the bigger respect you get. I get a shock when I see all these people get respect when they when they come to any party or a program. Everybody stands up for them, knowing fully well what they have been doing all along. Now, I think it's the time that the youth are supporting it good, but please make sure that do not tolerate this nonsense anymore. We should not be known as a nation of hypocrites. Right. It is very important for us to understand that.
Thank you very much, sir. KP Gopalakrishnan with us from Hyderabad as well. Good evening there.
Good evening. I just wanted to say that a common man gets arrested for stupid things without even a reason. And here we have got a politician who is blatantly putting out things and showing a display of wealth, which is for sure. I mean, it's absolutely disproportionate. And God alone knows what the government, what the police, what the courts do in this. In fact, as a common man, I get disgusted when I see such things happening.
Right, sir. Thank you very much. What's ironic is that a lot of netas in Karnataka attended this lavish wedding. The Chief Minister himself may have skipped the wedding, but he took a luxury chopper to go and greet the newlyweds. So when they talk about putting a cap to ensure no black money is used in weddings and luxury taxes imposed, it does ring a little hollow. But we'll leave that debate for another day.